Welcome to Anything Goes. I hope everybody's doing all right out there tonight. I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm
Oh,
doing
well,
splendidly. Thank you for asking, madam.
you're welcome. I always ask. I always like to know how it's going on in Jason's world.
It's
So,
bright and sunny as always.
wow. Well, it's dark here. It's midnight.
It's
So,
midnight there, right?
yeah. But there's sun shining from out of my eyes.
It is the light of your spirit that illuminates my day.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. That
You're
makes me
welcome.
feel amazing.
And you
Um,
know what? Fun
well,
fact. Fun fact. It's always bright and sunny. The earth, though you may not see it as it spins, the sun is always there. It's always bright and sunny, even though your little neck of the woods may be dark or or cloudy. It's always there. There's the optimism.
you're right. I never thought about it like that.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm just thinking about the world spinning, like on the flat edge or the beveled bit.
Yeah,
Because it's hard to know, isn't it?
it is.
But anyway, I hope everybody's doing all right out there tonight, and you've had a good Sunday. Um, well, let's start with you've got some. We're gonna have a good show tomorrow over on
Yes.
Texas channel, Trinity Paracryptid Network
Work, research,
Research.
whatever. Yeah, I think it's research. I got called out by text on that one.
Okay.
On the Trinity Paracryptid Research channel on YouTube, Texas Front Porch. We are going to have us, Amy and Laney from What the Paranormal, and Gary Spikes, definitely junior, maybe senior as well, from their channel. They're all coming on. We are going to talk about our most recent gallivanting around Brown Springs. We've had to hint at some things. What I will say is, it was definitely a trip that, for me, answers a lot of questions. And I find very useful. It's a wild story. There was honestly it really did cement a lot for me on the question of Bigfoot and definitely Brown Springs. I think we can safely. I know Texas is still going to want to go and do some research, but for me, it closes the book in one aspect and clarifies it's what it is. And for me, it sort of solidifies a lot of my views on Bigfoot.
Mm. Well, I know you're not going to reveal too much more, so everyone will have to check out.
Sorry, I'm gonna be a tease. I'm gonna be a tease.
Tease. Yeah, go and check that out tomorrow night at usual time.
Yeah, usual channel, same.
Usual channel, same
Yeah,
time.
same time.
That's great. I just want to announce as well before we start that this Thursday we'll be drawing Bigfoot again with Larry
Ooh.
Batson, and we're going to have Kerry Arnold on. I think it's going to be a really interesting show. The more we're doing these, I'm realizing just how it's not just a bit of entertainment. The process that people have to go through doing it, and I've kind of had the same reactions from everybody where before they think, yeah, okay, I'll do it, that'll be interesting. I'm not sure he'll get it right, but it's pretty much amazed them how they've managed to translate it on for Larry to translate onto paper, but almost kind of like a therapy for people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't think it's fun at the time. I don't think it's fun at all for them, and especially at the time and while they're doing it, and maybe for that night. But I've spoke to everybody within a couple of days after of doing that, and they've all said that they've actually felt like they've kind of lifted a bit of a weight off them and put it onto paper. So it's just been a bit of an eye-opener for me to see just how these things can affect people, and then seeing it as a drawing, and then how it plays with them. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm going to look forward to this one with Kerry. I think it'll be quite an interesting one, a hard one for Kerry, I think, to do. But you know,
Mhm.
I
Well,
think this.
art therapy is a real thing. I mean, it really is, particularly for trauma victims. Art therapy is hugely helpful, and because it does, we often don't realize we think we know things, and then you try to draw it, right, or you see it. It is a very different thing to see it, right, to actually see it represented, because artwork is, and but it's not just an image; it is a language unto itself. In fact, oftentimes drawing things realistically is not even the best way to convey a thought or emotion. You want to exaggerate some things, and that actually makes it look more realistic. But art therapy is hugely helpful for the processing of trauma. I found in my own life personally. I know other people have as well. So I'm glad that you're doing it. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's become really, something quite special, I think.
Hmm.
That's how I'm feeling it. And it's quite, it's mesmerizing to watch it to happen as well. But saying art therapy as well, and writing things down. If
Hmm.
you're upset or whatever, angry, or to
Yeah.
write it down and put it on paper will take some of that off
Hmm.
you. And it's quite amazing how we can shift how we feel by doing something creative.
Actually processing it allows us to process this trauma or these thoughts, these emotions. Like you said, a diary, a journal, writing stories, writing poetry, even if it doesn't rhyme. I mean, because there's all that's the other thing people forget. Like when you think rhyming, it means poetry. Poetry has many different forms. Telling it as a story, doing it as a diary, writing artwork of any kind. These expressive methods oftentimes allow us to process the trauma and the emotions in a very effective way, in a very healthy way. So I'm really glad you're doing it. I think it's a great idea. I love it.
Cheers. That's good to know. You're right, Zach. It's maybe another way to
Hmm.
be moving forward, um, or dealing with things. Um, Creative, constructive, progressive. That's good. That's
Hmm.
kind of explains it. So yeah, Thursday night. I think the post is out already anyway for anyone who wants to watch it. Go over, click the reminder button, and you won't miss it then. So tonight, I thought we'd just take it easy as usual. Go for a little bit random, not random questions, but I thought we'd look at kind of weird laws around the world, so that we can be grateful that we live where we are, where we do. In some cases, because I mean, probably everybody knows this one, but in Singapore, it's illegal to chew gum,
Hmm.
and people just chew gum for fun, don't they? I mean, over
Yeah,
here in America, um,
I'm chewing it right now. Love it.
you, I know, but
It's
it
a
is.
stress reliever.
Is it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd never really
Hmm.
got into uh, gum. Um, I kind of think back to school when you used to put your hand on the desk and you'd feel like a hard lump,
All the weird plasticky things. Yeah.
like somebody's chewing gum. That's
Hmm.
been there for God knows however long. So, yeah, it's not really my kind of thing. I will just go back to Sharon. I write things down I'm angry and hurt about and burn or rip it up, throw it away. Yeah, it's one way,
Hmm.
isn't it? Of dealing with it, of putting it down and just letting it go.
Yeah.
'Cause carrying stuff around is not healthy.
Mm-mm.
Um, better out than in. Um, yeah, I know. It's
Keep going.
another show.
I didn't say anything.
It's another show. Kerry, he did. That's right, Marianne. So that'll be interesting because he's looking a bit different to the ones that Larry's been drawing. So I should get all the places that they're all from and
Yeah.
see. if they're looking different in different places.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing to
That's
log.
actually, I think it's a great idea, because that's one of the thoughts I've noticed is some seem to be more pongid, some seem to be more caveman-esque. Like the ones that people see down here tend to be, when it's broad daylight, they talk about them looking more like cavemen. Jeff Smith, Jeff Stewart, his had he said it almost looked like it had like dreadlocks, like it actually had hair on it, but it looked human. It looked like a caveman. So, but then others, like you said, they do seem to be almost more ape-like. So, is it just people's interpretations? Is it, we tend to anthropomorphize things we aren't familiar with? Is that what's happening, or is there a legitimate difference? And again, what does that difference mean? Who knows? But we need to know. We need to notate that. I think it's a great point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let me just address this. Don C, if you unsubscribe and subscribe again, click that all notifications. Something weird happened yesterday. 2 people were blocked. Zach from Rooted Expeditions was in my blocked list, and another guy who emailed me through the show said I can't type anything. I have no idea how that happened, but I think it's just healthy for everyone to go and unsubscribe, resubscribe, and
hit the notification bell.
The notification bell, and you will get the notifications for it. Another thing that was kind of interesting was 2 of them, and when I spoke to Kerry, 2 of the drawings, and when I spoke to Kerry, seemed to have this kind of thing on the end of the nose, either like a kind of ball or a bend or a kind of interesting end to their nose. So I don't know if that's something to look into. I've got them here actually.
Pop them up. That'd be great.
Have I got them here? So this was Carl's. So you see there's a little bit of a pinch to the end of the nose.
Oh, yeah.
And then this was Katie G's. And again, the end of the nose there.
It's like a bulbous,
kind of pointy, bulbous thing. So this was Gary's, which doesn't have that. But he was this one was looking down at him. But
right, if it's looking down, then that may have a different. Hold on, there's an ape that, or a monkey that has a nose like that. Hold on, once keep showing them. But
I'll just go back and so yeah, this was Katie G's, and she definitely described something on the end of the nose. And that one of Carl's, you can just see the end of that nose there. And again, the Scott Pippin, is it? He seems to have his nose kind of at the end of it seems to come down to something. I just wonder if that's something, interesting, worth noting. I think this is a great way of logging. I know we're maybe not getting an exact replica of what it was. I mean,
right.
Everyone's saying they're close to what they saw. It's it's pretty much what they saw, but maybe we could start.
Well, what it really makes me think of is I couldn't remember the name. It's the proboscis monkey.
Yeah. That's right.
It's probably even more exaggerated, but maybe that is sort of what we're seeing, right?
That is interesting.
So I'm not saying that it's a proboscis monkey that we're seeing, but what I mean is that little extra bulge that you're talking about, that may be something to think about, something to really sort of run across. I forgot what Scottie Pippen actually looked like. Hold
on. These are quite extreme. These are quite extreme, but you can see.
Yeah, it's a very downward facing nose.
Even that one, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's shorter, but is that an age thing?
I do think they get bigger with age, as far as the proboscis monkeys go.
Maybe the females I mean, that was quite small. Maybe the males have the
larger,
large ones, obviously. I don't
sexual
know.
dimorphism is a thing.
Hey, who knows? So yeah, that's no, we don't think the monkeys. We're just talking about the end of the nose. So did you hit the bell button, Raptor? I don't know what's going on. I mean, I get notifications for most of the stuff I watch. But I don't know. It's there's something going on, isn't there?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Other channels that aren't even Bigfoot related, and some that you kind of expect that with the political stuff, like they're hiding that, but there are channels that aren't, that where their subs are going down, and everyone's like, "Hey, I was YouTube unsubscribed me from your channel." Instead, it wasn't me; it was something they did. So they're doing something. I don't know why, but their algorithm's doing something.
Oh well, it is what it is. And it's always been like that, hasn't there? There's always been some sort of YouTube. So anyway, let's go back to these. For all you hikers out there, it's illegal to hike naked in Switzerland.
That's fair. I think that's a fair law for a number of reasons.
Yeah. As long as you've got trainers on or shoes and a rucksack and a hat. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah.
You might get caught in something, or
it's Switzerland. The temperature is very different from what it is down here, right? So maybe they're just worried people get lost. There's a sudden temperature drop. People, things freeze off. That would be uncomfortable. And just think about it. You're walking around, and of course, the people who are going to go around naked are not the people you want naked, right?
No, probably not.
I'm just saying, it's not Pamela Anderson who's going to come over that hill naked. It's going to be me. It's going to be some dude who looks like me, and you're just going to be like, I don't know. No.
Well, in 2011, a Swiss man was fined more than $100 for his bare-bottomed walk. So keep your body covered next time you go hiking, and you should be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit daft, that, isn't it, really? This one I don't get. You're not allowed to wear Winnie the Pooh T-shirts in Poland.
Why?
Poland issued a ban on Winnie the Pooh around playgrounds and school, finding the A.A. Milne character a bit too risque for the likes of impressionable children. I mean, I'm not quite sure.
The heck was going on with that book that I've missed?
I must have missed something. I mean, anybody can relate to that. I didn't think it was risque at all, but who knows? Who? Let me just see if the chat. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool if we're all naked and afraid? No, it would not be good at all. There was a law in North Carolina that stated women had to wear 16 yards of fabric at all times. I don't think it's still in the books, but it was after the 2010 before it was removed. 16 yards of fabric. That's a lot.
That's a lot of fabric.
What's a yard? Is it 3 meters?
Well, a yard is 3 feet. It's actually a yard and a meter is not that far. A yard and a meter is not that far apart. They're similar. Yeah.
So 3/16. That's a lot. That's a lot of material.
Sounds like It sounds like a law that was probably designed to keep some textile mills in. But neither does Donald, and nobody cares about Donald Duck.
Does Donald Duck not wear any pants?
No, Donald Duck does not wear pants.
Right, that's terrible. I never know, what does he wear? Just like a shirt?
Yeah, he's got that sailor shirt and a cap, and he's walking
nothing
around.
Else. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Chip and Dale, they're naked all the time. I mean, they're just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, but they've got fur, haven't they?
Well, but so does, I mean, he's a teddy bear. I mean,
He's a male teddy bear.
but he's
Maybe
a
that's
teddy
it.
bear.
I know.
I've never seen a teddy bear with genitalia. And he didn't even wear a shirt in the original.
Why do you think you'd find a teddy bear with
Well, I'm just saying,
genitalia?
you mentioned. I'm just saying he's a teddy bear, so there's nothing to cover up. And in the original A. Milne stories, the illustrations never had him wearing a shirt. That's a Disney thing.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
missing
what I'm
a
saying. Like, it
teddy bear.
doesn't seem to make sense.
There's a niche in the market now for teddy bears with genitalia. I mean,
Dude, it's
do
the
it.
21st century. I wouldn't be surprised. Hold on. I'm gonna look.
Oh no. Well, I
Yep.
bet you there is. I bet you there is.
I bet
Let's
there is
see.
too. Hold on. Teddy bear.
And see if it's safe to share. Because I'll find it. Send me the link. So what do people think? There's good naked and bad naked. It usually changes after the age of 25.
Yep. It's a thing.
Is it?
Yes. Yes,
Oh,
it is.
does anybody want to see?
No.
Oh, okay. Is it bad? Is it
Some are.
Is it for kids? Can't be.
Okay. Most of these are
educational?
not. No,
Or-
most of these are clearly not for kids, but I think hold on.
Are you sure you're
Because
the right
well, no,
page?
some are clearly not meant for kids, but some of them actually look like they might be like some sort of therapy thing. Okay, yeah, we're just living in a weird time. That's
Okay.
it.
Maybe we should just move on from this one.
We should. But now I'm wondering, like, why is Winnie the Pooh outlawed in Poland?
I don't know. Maybe we need to look into it a little bit more. Let me just go back here. Oh, I feel like I've just missed a question. Okay, it's illegal to go topless in Ontario.
Again, I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about that if I ever go over there. There was another one. Have you found it?
I have. Hold on, but it doesn't make sense.
Ridge, illegal to burn a mule on Main Street on Sunday in my hometown. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I mean, you've got 6 days to go out
And burn your mule.
Just,
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's got to be at least one day I can't worry about walking downtown and having somebody burn his mule. That's all I'm saying.
You don't really want to do it on a Sunday as well, do you?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You're right. Tipper TV, how you doing? These guys were on Hidden Existence last night. Everyone, go and check out the show if you haven't. It was really fun talking to them. They say in Utah, it's against the law to fish from horseback. I wouldn't have thought of trying that on horseback. Have you ever thought about fishing on horseback?
I can honestly say that's never crossed my mind.
No.
It's never once crossed my mind. That's, yeah. Let me think. No, never. Okay, so yeah, apparently Winnie the Pooh is inappropriate because he's only half dressed and he's an inappropriate hermaphrodite.
Okay.
I got nothing. I'm out. You know what? It's Poland. It's Poland. I think there is a point where you just say, okay, I get it. Let's move on.
Yeah. Let's don't worry about that. Who eats too much honey? That sounds weird, doesn't it? So, yes, Rob, you're blocked. Okay.
Yes. Well, Rob, you should be blocked.
Yeah, and if you're not blocked now, you will.
Go and block yourself now.
We're joking.
I'm not.
No, I'm not actually, but I'm just pretending.
Particularly not after what happened last night, sir.
Oh,
You know.
oh, not him. Not that.
Yes.
Or is that what you're on about?
It's what it was.
Oh, no. That's bad.
For shame, Robert. For shame.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, so back to Winnie the Pooh being an inappropriate hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
What other laws do we have? So we can't burn a mule on Sunday on Main Street.
Yeah, on Sundays. In Scotland, it's illegal to ride a cow drunk. I'm not sure if you can do it sober.
Well,
but,
I kind of agree with this because cattle are notoriously hard to maneuver. Being drunk, you're driving that cattle while drunk. We know it's wrong to drink and drive.
Yeah.
A horse will get you home. That cow, you don't know what that cow's thinking.
Well, the law, a mandate came in 1872, said people were not to be drunk in charge of a cow, horse, carriage, or steam engine. So there you go. Which is a good law, really.
Yeah, I think that's that does beg the question though: is the cow can you be sober but the cow is drunk?
Don't know. I wonder if there's any animal laws.
There are.
Yeah.
There are. Oh yeah. No, in fact, little known fact: there was a pig that was tried for murder in the 1700s in France and was condemned to be executed because it had killed somebody, but it had a full trial, whole 9 yards.
You joking?
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. They actually had a trial. I forget why it was that they went through the whole trial. Instead of just saying the pig killed somebody and so we need to kill it, it had a full trial. I'm not joking.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible. I have to look into that. The same law for this one states that you can't have a loaded firearm either when you're drunk. I mean, what happens when you've got when you own a gun over where you are and you're drunk and you use it? Does that come into play?
Actually, it's that actually makes it worse. So yeah, I mean, we have a similar law. Like you can't be armed and under the influence of alcohol, drugs. That's illegal.
Yeah, it's not the best thing, is it?
No.
To be.
No.
Okay.
But can so again, if the cow is drunk, can the cow be armed?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No. Yes. On the plane landing, before landing in Singapore, they gave us a card that said "Death to all drug traffickers." It's not the place to play around, is it? Any of those countries? Just don't do it. Don't do it. Those prisons are like the worst place you could ever be in your life. But people do it. People do it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Either getting fooled or they think they can get away with it, or I mean, it's such a risk, isn't it? Trying to import drugs into any country, really, but some countries you just won't. In Bali, you'll probably get the death penalty. That'll be it. For a stupid amount, or they're not even getting the big guys. It's
no. Okay, almost entirely off topic, but somewhat on topic to this. It's the whole thing about Freakonomics, right? It's where is the incentive? Most people, the prosecutors, it's the cops. It's easier to go for the little guy than the big guy. And sometimes that big guy is connected. So it's like, you know what? People think we're doing our job. Like that was one of the things they noticed in Japan when they were going through the numbers was having essentially if you didn't solve a crime, it was, even if there was just nothing to go on, it was considered a shame. And so it went down negatively on your record. So they actually stopped. They would just rule blatant murders a suicide because there was no obvious clue, and they're like, we're just going to rule this thing as suicide before it becomes a problem on my record. And all kinds of crimes went under a non-report because the cops were like, there's nothing we can do about it. I don't want the mark on my record. So it could be something. I think a lot of that's sort of the problem is, like, as prosecutors, cops, it's easier to go for that, for the lower guy than the guy who's higher up the chain.
Yeah, definitely. Jackie Myers, Lowman. In Indiana, you don't need a permit to carry a handgun, but your dog has to have a license.
Yeah, it's called constitutional carry. There's no constitutional right to have a dog, so there's nothing preventing states from having different things for animals. Like, I can't fish in my state without a license unless it's on private land. But again, here we still have
a horse.
Exactly. You can't fish from the horse, but I wouldn't try. I prefer boats. And that's the thing is, and my dog is agreeing with me. It's hard. Horses notoriously do not like rafts. You're trying to fish. You've got your horse. It's on the raft. It doesn't like it. I'm just saying it's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially those little fishing boats, just those little ones. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, is this true? I see an enigma. Oh, can't even say it. How about sparrows being prosecuted for squawking in church? That
Never heard.
Kind of sounds like it could be true somewhere.
Yeah.
Who knows at this stage? Paul Holland. In 1916, Mary the elephant killed the keeper and was lynched on a crane. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. I mean, how can we blame these animals that are in their own environment and place? Undergone fishing, yes, probably. It wouldn't surprise me with you.
I'm okay with that.
Just get it on the barbecue, whatever it is. Patrick Vaughan, a friend of mine was shot by his dog. Okay. That'd be interesting to...
So many questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do police officers carry guns in the largest cities or boroughs? Possibly. Manchester, London. I guess it depends what they're doing. But we don't really have, we don't carry guns. People, farmers would have guns, hunters. But I mean, hunting's more, it's not really, I don't know. I don't really know a lot, but we certainly don't have as many guns as what you guys do. And I'm guessing some of the police will have them. So depending on what they're doing, I guess. A lot of tasers. And now police aren't on their own, are they? They're always in pairs, and I guess I don't think they can have a gun because wasn't someone attacked? Oh yeah, they did shoot him last year. Someone was trying to attacked a few people in Westminster. I think they ended up having to shoot him. So yeah, I guess it'll happen. So where are we at? Has anybody else got any contributions to these laws? Edward Evans Payson's book, The Criminal Prosecution and Capital Punishment of Animals. I'm not even sure I could read that.
Wow. It happens often. Well, you know what? It kind of makes sense if you don't know for certain an animal has done something. It may be worth having an actual, trial to say, look, is this animal deserving of death? Yes or no?
It's not a trial, though, is it? If they can't speak up for themselves, I mean, this is like.
Well, it's better than just saying, well, it's a this duck is accused of killing somebody. Well, should we at least make certain the duck actually did it? I mean, it's absurd, but life's absurd anyway.
Yeah. I don't think animals have intention to go out and, If you go out the door tomorrow and a bird's flying past and flies into, your face and smashes your nose, never meant to do it, did it? Would you take it to court?
I would take that bird to court. I take the bird to court.
Yeah.
Look, again, the chances of a duck killing you are very low.
Where there's
but it's never zero.
Mm.
But it's never zero. I'm just saying the odds of being killed by a duck are never zero. There's always that sliver of a chance, and in that case, you want to make certain that duck pays for what it's done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. So registering as married at a hotel makes it so in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So any of you guys in North Carolina, if you go into a hotel and request to share a room and claim that you're married by common law marriage rules in the state, that men and women would legally be married. As the couple outwardly present themselves as husband and wife to the public, they are deemed a common law marriage that is honoured and valid in North Carolina. So that's how easy it is to get married in North Carolina.
There you go.
Has anybody done that? Is that,
Probably not still enforced, but again, you can see why, what that's about. It's to, prevent adultery to a point, and perhaps even prostitution.
Do you think that really? What, are they going to hand out certificates? Do you get a certificate?
Well, they're not handing out a certificate, but what they've said, what you do so what you're doing with that is you got your mistress, you want to go to a hotel, cheat on your wife. Well, now you got to get the room. Well, now if you present yourself as Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you're presenting yourself as married. So now there's an actual crime that you've committed. Now it's bigamy. And that actually protects the wife. That's one of those things that people don't understand. Like in common law states, there's a lot of laws around protecting women for access to property, and actually giving them many, many ways to say, hey, my husband has screwed me over. He's cheating on me. He's doing whatever. And so there are a lot of laws that are designed to protect women in that way. Now, again, that's an antiquated law. I don't think it would hold up in court anymore. But there you go. That's probably why it was created.
Very interesting. No, we're not going to prosecute animals. Let me see here. I can't see. So it's illegal to swear in the United Arab Emirates.
That is still enforced. I can tell you that for a fact.
Fined, jailed, or deported. Swearing disgraces the honour or the modesty of a person.
Yep.
It's quite easy to swear, though, isn't it? Just comes out. We're used to doing it, aren't we? I think. I'm not saying everybody, but generally, we do kind of. We don't even think about it over here, do we?
We don't, because we have a First Amendment. We have the, at least in the United States we do. But even in Western traditional Anglo law is the idea of freedom. There is a concept of free speech that exists, and that does not exist in the United Arab Emirates at all. So while it is more, you would find laws like this on the books 150 years ago, you don't see them today, but they still enforce that in places like Dubai. Again, I happen to know this for a fact. Not for me personally, but I have known people for whom their attorneys told them, like, look, if you go in, you're going over here for business for long periods of time, these are laws that they will prosecute you for. Absolutely, undeniably. It's, again, the Middle East does not really have that tradition of a freedom of speech. So, again, it only seems preposterous to us on that one, but it's reasonable for them.
Yeah, of course, it's normal, isn't it? Like you say, if you're used to it, if you're not used to it, either way. Larry, it's not always the man, is it? We know that, but
the laws. So here is the thing. You're right. It's not. But the problem, one of the things we have to remember is a lot of these laws were written during a time when women actually had fewer rights, uh, and were more disadvantaged by societal customs. So there were laws created to protect the woman. That's the thing, is they were designed that way. Not to say, again, because again, if a woman cheated, there were already laws to deal with that. These laws were designed to protect women at a time when they had fewer rights.
India has terrible laws about adultery, and especially with the females there. It doesn't have to be them doing it, but they will be the one. Oh, even if it is, they will be the one who gets punished, not the man. They seem to have such a low regard to women. There's double standards. It's horrible. So a person can own river property but can't own the riverbanks. Yeah. I think that's the same over here. That would be kind of like the waterways people. Be responsible for all that sort of stuff. Yeah, we did that one, Murray. You're a little bit late to the party, but we covered that one first.
Wonder why that is.
Which one?
Gum and like, why Singapore? Yeah, why gum? I mean, like, why?
Because it costs them so much money cleaning it.
Oh, gotcha.
Off the pavements, the roads and stuff like that, and they decided to clean the city. Yeah, they're supposed to be. Yeah. So, sorry, I've lost my little thingamabob. So yeah, no swearing. I guess it's not a bad thing. So in Russia, it's illegal to wear lacy underwears.
I'm glad I'm not in Russia right now.
Yeah. You've got to, in Russia, 2014, law in Russia, Belarus and Kazakhstan states undergarments must be made with a minimum of 6% cotton. And it's for health and safety reasons. So that's it. That's all I've got. It's worth looking into a little bit more. But maybe because it's so cold over there.
Yeah.
And they had too many, frostbite incidents in A&E, the hospital.
Yeah.
For men and women.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's it. You've got to,
I have a sneaking suspicion, though, it's more about cotton and making certain they get sold than.
Oh, it could be that as well.
Than weather. I have my suspicions, but you never know. Again, Russia has like they have a mud season twice a year, so it's a different way of life.
Minus 86 degrees. So yeah, I'm not surprised. The lacy. Yeah. That's one way of saying it. Definitely. So no, I'm not even going to read that one. It's a little bit daft. And so is that one. Okay. You cannot die without a pre-purchased burial plot in a part of France. So in the town of Sarponay, you cannot die within the city limits unless you already have your burial plot purchased in the local cemetery. This has to do with the fact that the cemetery is full, so the mayor issued an ordinance in 2008. He added, offenders will be severely punished. That's a bit,
Okay. I think I get part of this. But how do you punish a corpse?
Exactly. But suicide is illegal. Yeah. What are they going to charge someone who's committed suicide? It's not. So maybe
Well, okay, hold on. In that regard, that's actually about insurance. That's actually less about it. So actually, here's the thing. So it's not a myth that it is illegal, but if you own your insurance policy for a certain amount of time, I forget what it's different every state, country, obviously. But if you own it for a certain period of time and you commit suicide, they still have to pay out. And the reason for this is the whole illegal thing. All that's about someone saying, you know what, things are going bad. I'm going to take out $1 million policy on myself. Wait 3 months, go kill myself or fake my death, but probably most people just go kill themselves and let my family reap the reward. It's to prevent that from occurring. So again, I forget what the time frame is, but you can't if you have an insurance policy for a certain period of time and you end up committing suicide, the assumption is that was a legitimate suicide, and therefore, even though it's illegal, it doesn't prevent the next of kin from inheriting the insurance or collecting on the insurance money. But I mean, again, to the city, it makes sense. It's like literally the cemetery is full. So how do you keep people from saying, I want to be buried in the cemetery, is unless you've already got your spot claimed and purchased while you're alive. Someone ends up dying there. They're like, look, we can't bury them here. They're going to have to go over here to some other location.
Oh.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how you punish somebody for that.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky, isn't it?
Maybe, but you put them in like a pet cemetery next to it's like, here lies someone, and then beside him is like, here lies Snuggles.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Exactly. Hello to Brent. Glad to see you in here tonight. Hope you're having a good night. So, yeah, we're lucky where we live, aren't we? We've still not have to go through any of these. Well, not me anyway. You must honk when passing a car in New Jersey. Have you heard about this?
We have similar laws down here, but again, it's from a time when vehicles were more antiquated. Right. That's just really what it is. These were legitimate safety precautions. Again, the road system wasn't what it was today. They were designed for horses. You know, there's a lot of these things where it makes sense in its context. It's absolutely asinine now, though.
Yeah.
And they may have even been a little silly back then, but it was just the best idea people had. New technologies and all.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about old classic cars, UK classic cars, when like we didn't have lights and none of the roads had lights, and the accidents back then, because it's just like exposed pretty much. Well, the people, no seat belts. Yeah, that was quite a scary time, I think, to be driving around. Well,
and think about walking, right? The entire reason for don't ask me how I know this. It was the car industry that actually they were paying people to write articles about basically, from when someone got run over by a car. It wasn't the motorist's fault; it was the person crossing the street fault for not paying attention. And that's where the phrase jaywalking comes from. Jay was a very offensive slang word to use against a person, right? Basically, it was like unintelligent hillbilly is sort of the way it was taken. So jaywalking is literally an epithet that's written into law. Well, but they did that so everyone would be like, okay, humans should walk on the sidewalks and the road should be for cars. Well, but that was literally never the case. Everyone walked in the street because that's the street. That's what it was for, right? It was for walking. It was for traveling, not sidewalks. So a lot of these laws sound preposterous to us, but we have to understand there was a time when no one had seen a car.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how old some of these laws are, and they're not really telling me. They're just for a bit of fun as well, but they have been.
Absolutely. Well, if that law got passed in 1973, I think we got some problems. But it is New Jersey, so
there you go.
There you go.
Anyone thinking of going to Spain? It's illegal to build a sandcastle. Spain despises your attempt to make sandcastles so much you could be fined if caught building one in Spain, and the fines vary by location at their discretion. On the island of Majorca, for example, you could pay €100 or pounds, but you could pay up to 1,500 in Galicia. And kids are also included in this restriction. They just don't want the beaches messing up. That's what we do, don't we, when we go to a beach, start digging it up. And I think they spend a lot of money grooming their beaches, don't they, to attract
they do.
people.
But still, that
so
seems
fun. I can't remember the last time I built a sandcastle. I mean, it's a lot of years, it's a long time. But I remember I loved it when I did it. I mean, it's the best thing. It's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
On a beach. I'm not going to Spain now. I'm not going to Spain just because of that. I've got a real urge now to build sandcastles. It's just taking me back. It's just taking me back to a kid and being on the beach and filling that thing up, and
Oh, absolutely.
Just one of those weird memories. So this is another one that's a tricky one. It's illegal to reincarnate without permission in China.
Okay.
Go on. Tibetan monks are not allowed to reincarnate after they die unless they've been granted permission from the government. We are not sure how they enforce this, but China is known for having some strict laws. That sounds a little crazy, but then we hear a lot of crazy.
Well, okay. So again, unfortunately, this is one of those things that makes sense if you look at it from their perspective of China is an atheist nation. They want to they crack down on Tibet. That was a big thing. So what they're cracking down on is the practice of Tibetan religious practices. That's what that's about. But do you have a good one to end on?
Oh yes, because you need to go, don't you? Sorry.
Sadly, yes. Yeah,
okay.
I have to bow out a little early today.
Okay, the last one. Let's end on a good note. Capri may bust your dog with DNA. So basically, on the island of Capri in Italy, if your dog does a doo-doo and you don't pick it up, they can take the DNA from the dog. They can trace it back to you, and boom, you get fined. So
wow, that's some extreme policing for okay, but you know what? I think that's extreme, but maybe it's an island. Maybe that's a problem that they got.
That's what they do, and maybe it sorts all that trouble out, because there's nothing worse than pals of doo-doo when you're on holiday in Italy. But look, everyone, we're going to go a little bit early tonight. Jason needs to get off and do something more exciting, obviously.
Nothing's more exciting than being with you, Daniela.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So guys, don't forget, on Thursday, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a great one. It's drawing Bigfoot with Larry Batson. Of course, Kerry Arnold's going to come on. I think he's in the chat, actually. Are you there, Kerry? Hello. All right, everyone. Until then, have a great week. And thanks, Jason. I'll catch up with you all soon. Take care, everyone. Good night.
Ciao, Bella.